You know, it is a very good thing that social media and technology nowadays is so advanced because you can catch things that most people will never catch if they're not there at the time. And then when you catch it, you can send it out to as many people as possible. There's a saying, once something is out there in the internet, it is out there for good. And thank God for screenshot and screen capture. Because if it wasn't for those two things, I would not have been able to find this. Now, shout out to Tariq. Now, I'm telling you right now, Tariq is one of the people that can come with a lot of receipts that if you don't think it'll get you that day, it'll eventually get you in the future. So I'm going to have to treat this like I did the whole Tarana Burke situation, in which she put something out there. I screen captured it and then I did a commentary on it. And shout out to everyone who responded to it, because you responded to it the exact way that I knew you would. Just like you're going to have to respond to this. When I saw this right here, I was immediately taken aback, mainly because of who it was coming from. Now, I would expect something like this to come from Donna. Like if this was coming from Don Lemon, it wouldn't catch me by surprise. But Bakari Sellers, someone who I never thought I would ever have to do a commentary on, especially considering the nature of this tweet. When I saw this, I shared this on my community tab on my YouTube channel, but I don't think many people really caught it. So I know people will see this. And all I have to say is, Bakari Sellers, you know you fucked up big time for this tweet. You definitely did. This has to be one of the most off code tweets I've seen in quite some time, and I've seen plenty of them. And it's so sad because Bakari Sellers to me came off as a guy that I would never like have to side eye or anything like that. But now I put on my community tab in the caption, I said, Bakari Sellers, you are now on my shit list. So I was on Twitter today, just scrolling, and Tariq retweeted this post that Bakari Sellers put out there. And it reads, the misogyny at Kamala Harris is going to be on the receiving end of from black men. This cycle is going to be something to behold. It's sad but expected. First off, he calls black men misogynist and misspelled the word. Misogyny is not spelled like that, Bakari, and you're supposed to be this educated man who's on CNN or whatever platform that it is that white zaddy allows you to be on and speak from, and you misspelling insulting words to people that don't deserve it. Now, he didn't even say some men or most men. He just said black men. And notice he chose to target black men in particular, as if he isn't black himself. Newsflash, Bakari, not everybody is about to bow down and kiss the ring, or better yet, kiss the ass of Kamala Harris because she now has found her blackness. Mind you, this woman has never claimed to be black until recently, now that she's going on her campaign tour, because she is throwing her hat in the ring for this 2020 presidential bid, which ironically is very early, considering most people usually do it toward the end of the year or maybe the middle of the year. And then look at the day that she decided to do it. She decided to do this on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, or at least the day that they acknowledge it. If she decided to do it on the 21st, that shows she doesn't even have any decency to have done it on his actual birthday, which was on the 15th. I'm telling you, I do not trust this woman at all. But I'm going to go back to her, but I'm going to come back to Bakari Sellers right quick because I don't want to get too off topic when it comes to him. Bakari, there are black men, black women, white men, and white women, and everyone else in between who are not feeling Kamala Harris, but you decided that you were going to single-handedly target black men in your tweet and call us misogynistic because we didn't agree with her views. Even if black men came to you with proof and evidence as to why we do not support her through all the research, you would still call us misogynistic. And what's so sad is you can probably go on to Twitter and type in the word black men and misogyny, and you'll probably find a boatload of tweets reflecting their feelings towards us. And let's be honest here, we're talking about heterosexual black men here. Because I bet you if it was a gay black man and he said something about Kamala Harris that they didn't like, they wouldn't call him misogynistic. They'll find a way to tiptoe around it. Just like when we mentioned the term toxic femininity, they said no, that's not real. It's just an extension of toxic masculinity because this, that, and the third, which is some bullshit. Like they will go anywhere in whatever realm that they can find to try and say that this isn't this and this isn't that. So, like I said, we bring evidence and proof as to why we don't support Kamala Harris, and we're not going to throw our support behind her. And now you want to insult us and call us names, Bakari? For real? And Terry Crews, he is no better because, like I'm telling you, if you are on Twitter, just spend a good brief 10 minutes going and scrolling down Tariq's timeline and see a lot of the stuff that people be saying about him, but he comes back at him even harder. And then once that happens, you have all these palm-colored individuals want to try to get into it as well because they get triggered by the stuff that he says, and it usually falls flat each and every time. And this tweet didn't even read well. Let me read this again. The misogyny, which is actually spelled MISOGNY. He literally spelt it how he would probably like how an elementary school student who is just learning how to spell would spell this word. He said the misogyny at Kamala Harris is going to be on the receiving end of from black men. This cycle is going to be something to behold. It's sad but expected. Let's pay attention to that last part because that last part speaks a lot of volume. It's sad but expected. Basically, Bakari Sellers has put out into the universe that he just knows that black men are going to attack Kamala Harris just because we don't like her. No, we're not going after her. We're not even really attacking her. It's not like we're talking ill about her. We're not saying, oh, we're not going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's ugly. Maybe internally she is, but we're not going to say that because she's ugly. Or we're not going to say we're not going to vote for her because of how she wears her hair. She claims to be black, but she doesn't want to wear it in its natural form. She looks like she always gets a perm. We're not going to say, oh, we don't like Kamala Harris because of who she's married to, although some people won't vote for her because of who she's married to. But it's her policy. We know that she's not going to do for black people, and it's been proven when she was attorney general and district attorney. See, what people are doing, or what people like Bakari Sellers are doing, is they're trying to relive and reignite that Barack Obama flame from 2008 and 2012, and they're trying to do it vicariously through Kamala Harris. They're trying to make her into Obama 2.0. A lot of people have said it, and honestly, it's true. And speaking of Obama, I found out that I think it was Joe Biden recently. I think he's throwing his support behind Kamala Harris, but guess who hasn't, as of yet, done so? Barack Obama. And to be honest, I hope that he doesn't, because then that'll let people know that he knows something about her that he just can't get behind. That we know that there's something about her that we can't get behind. I can't wait to see what the blue check Negro sector of Black Twitter is going to have to say about this. And to be honest, Bakari Sellers, after this tweet you just put out there, you fall right into that category. Like, I really expected Donna to say something like this. That doesn't mean that he won't say anything like this, because it's probably going to happen. Now, I had to check Tarana Burke, what was it, a couple days ago, because she said that, oh, why would I go after white men with Me Too? It was pretty obvious, like, why she wasn't going to go after them, because, be honest, it's probably them funding her movement that got hijacked by their women. And now you got Bakari putting black men on Front Street as if we're the only ones that are not going to support her. Well, Bakari, let me give you one major reason why I won't be supporting her. Maybe you have heard of this story of a young man by the name of Oscar Grant, who 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago now, was murdered in the Bay Area by a white cop while handcuffed and shot in his back and killed. Left behind a girlfriend, a mother, and a daughter. Right there on the platform. Kamala Harris at the time, I believe, was the district attorney. Someone can confirm that down in the comments for me, if that is true. The guy who shot him, the white cop that shot him, was supposed to get years behind bars. He did not spend more than a year in prison. As a matter of fact, I think he only stayed in 11 months. And you want to know why that is, Bakari? Because Kamala Harris found a way to be on the Blue Lives Matter before Blue Lives Matter was a thing on their side of the law, and released him, or found a way to have him released. And this was another black man that that Bakari Sellers, you would probably label as misogynistic if you had it your way. But you can't label him that because he's dead. And she's done a whole lot of other things as well that doesn't sit right with me or a lot of people in the black community. You can ask any black person why they probably won't throw their support behind Kamala Harris, but you won't. So you just throw out inflammatory tweets like this and just assume that we're all not going to support her, and that if we don't, we're misogynistic. And it's so crazy because he's not the only one that feels that way. A lot of these black feminists feel the same way too. But to be honest, I expect them to say this as well. I expect people who are black and gay to say this. I expect the black feminists to say this. But Bakari, you really caught me off guard when you said this. And the thing is, I feel like I shouldn't be surprised, but in a way I kind of am. Because like I said, I've never had to do a commentary about you ever. Like, you were never a subject matter in any of my commentaries, whether on this channel or the various channels I've had in the past. Like, this really disappoints me with how off cold you got with this tweet, and literally threw black men under the bus because of a woman that you probably don't even know yourself. You're just doing it because she's a figure. She's a figurehead that doesn't even declare her blackness. And I've also found out some additional information about her family history, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe Bakari Sellers, you need to do some research on her before you start flapping your gums about your own brothers the way that you just did. Because remember, at the end of the day, Bakari, you too are a black man in America. And what happened to Oscar Grant could have happened to you and had the same outcome from the same woman who you're throwing your support behind right now.